Today we have amongst us Dr. Hassan Mustafa, Dean College of Mass Communication, Program Coordinator for Bachelor's of Mass Communication in New Media, Al Falah University, Dubai, UAE. Dr. Mustafa joined Al Falah University in 2017, specializing in digital media. He has combined academic and professional work experience in the field of media and communication through his work at the Sudan Radio and Television Corporations for many years, in addition to teaching in many Sudanese universities such as University of Khartoum, Garden City University, and Sudan Academy for Communication Sciences and Media Training. He also worked at many universities in UAE and held senior academic positions. He presented many technical radio and television shows. He also designed the first digital news program in Sudan, participated in digitalization of radio, and headed the project of digitize the Sudanese radio library. He is a consultant of Sudan News Agency and a director of many of electronic radio stations. He was honored as an innovator of smart radio. He published many books in the field beside refereed research studies and participation in conferences related to the digital field. He is also involved in several UAE TV programs in the field of digital media, certified reviewer at European Journal of Educational Research and an International Journal of Social and Humanities Invention, editorial board member of Wuhud, the Researchers Arabic Journal. He will address the gathering on the topic Challenges of Media Studies. Over to you, sir.
First of all, thank you very much for this fully informative introduction, which I didn't expect it to be long as it was. But I think that it's in the same aspect of this very useful, let me say, media rally. Because when you used to have like this webinar for a lot of time, I think like 75 days, if I'm not wrong, that means this is a lot of, this is a rally. I call it media rally. So I'm very grateful that I have been invited to this such a wonderful event. And I believe that in the sharing of knowledge, that's something which make our digital era unique, that we share our knowledge in this regards. I'll try to be very concise and very short in my presentation, as all the previous presentations were in the same field, and I'm very glad to attend the previous one, which is in the same field, as I said, and it helped my presentation very well, and it's a very good introduction to what I'm going to handle in this presentation. So I'm talking about the challenge of media studies in two aspects. The first one for the educational aspect and the other one for the research aspect as well. And that's why I try to make a visual, let me say, indication for what I'm going to handle. But first of all, let me try to have what we can say a general proverbs in the media field. And the first one and the second one, which has been invented by Professor Amanda Lotes, she said that media industry operations become a lens for making sense rather than the site of the study. And then she said that I'm not sure that industry workers recognize that academics have insight that can be of value. That means, if there is any conflict between the educational part and the industrial part of media, this is a very crucial question, because most of our media students, they may find some kind of, let me say, differentiation between the courses that they have and the real media industry in the reality. And I'm going to be more detailed in the next slide, but let me say the most controversial word, which is being mentioned by Marshall McLuhan, the one who some people called him the father of the media or the father of communication. And by the way, this is also one of the great challenge for the media and communication. Most of the theories which is being raised for the communication and media are being invented by people who are not working in the media industry. For instance, Marshall McLuhan, he is a specialist in English literature. He has nothing to do with communication, by the way. He has nothing to became a very famous scientist in the communication field. And that's why I always say the media is like O negative blood group that can donate for everyone and also receive. So it's kind of generosity, let me say, and also technical determinism. It's one of the greatest theoretical says in the communication. But if you notice that I mentioned the Marshall McLuhan, the word the medium is the message, while the famous one is the medium is the message. But he made it the media is the message. And massage, you know, the word massage, what is the meaning of the massage? That means it's manipulating the audience minds, and so that and he has a very nice explanation for this when he said the medium is the message itself, as a thief when trying to stole something from a house, and there is like a dog watch, and he gave him like a piece of meat. So the piece of meat is the message, which means from the main aspect, which is the thief himself. So if we have some kind of questions here, let me say media thoughts. Do you need a degree? This is a very important question for our students in the academia, the academic part, always. And we have a specialization, which we call it new media or digital media. And sometimes the parents or the employers or the students themselves ask, what is that? And I just simplify them to them. Do you have a Snapchat account? And then he said, yes, then you have new media. So this is as simple as it is. So then, okay, I know how to deal with Facebook. I know how to deal with Instagram. I'm a professional in the Snapchat or TikTok. So do really I need to have like a communication degree, bachelor degree in media or bachelor degree in new media? This is very important question to them. And why is that being raised? Because many people, they may think practicing media is only practical part, while there is a scientific. I mean, if we would like to design, like advertise for any kind of product or service, some people, they may say that, well, I'm a professional.
I think we are facing some technical issues there.
What about the visual identity? Do you know something about this visual identity? And what about the biometrics, which go on to influence future behavior. So, which is inspired experiments which isolated the
I think sir is facing some technical issue there. I can't see him in this session. I think he's got disconnected.
Yeah, I think he's got disconnected.
But he will rejoin, not an issue. Hi, joined.
Yes, he is there.
I'm sorry that
No, that's okay.
this is one of the a problem of the digital era. Anyway, so in regards of this, do we need really to have this degree? So we need to convince our students that the media, it's not only professional, it's not only practical, it's also science. So we have to combine between science and the skills as well. Anyone can design, as I said, but not anyone can be creative enough to pass the message that we need from this kind of design. And also, how could I, let me say, format the tweet or the post on the Facebook or in Instagram or in LinkedIn? And sometimes when you see people in LinkedIn, when they are telling some kind of personal stories, some people, they are comment to them that, wait a minute, this is not a Facebook. Why? Because he doesn't know the difference between these platforms and how he can use these platforms in the professional way. And that cannot come unless you be, as I said, in the academia plus the professionalism. If we go to the trend, people are now searching the trend, whatever it is. So what do you mean by the trend? And how could I be at the top of the trend? Some people, they are using some kind of, let me say, wrong ways to do that. And all we are suffering from a huge number of unuseful information which is being spreaded in these platforms. Also, the combination with the IT. And I'm very glad to attend the latest presentation, which focused on that way. And this is a very good point, because if there is any media institution which is not being digitized yet, that means it's outdated. Now you cannot play any kind of 1 inch or 2 inches for the TV, or 35 or 16 mm for the telecinema tapes, for instance, or even for the real tapes for the radio. So you have to be digitized. Digitization now, it's a must. It's not kind of, let me say, luxury. No, it's not. You have to be digitized, so that you have to be inside this world. So you have to learn this kind of digital skills, so that you will be more influencer in this media field. And there is also another word that I'm saying: mass communication versus mass communication. So mass communication, that's what we have seen these days. And I'm very sure that you know what I mean. If we come to the conclusion of the challenge, we have a lot of challenges, but I may say that there is 5, which in my opinion is very important. Number 1, for the academia part, is a curriculum. Curriculum, you know that technologies are very rapidly and constantly developed. So if we are not updated with this kind of rapid technology, then we will be outdated. And when I said that will be outdated, because we are going to teach something that it's not in the real life. When we are talking about theoretical, let me say, I'm going to explain this later, but when I'm talking about some kind of theories that it doesn't fit for our current situation, for the present, and even for the future. So this is useless. So we need a dynamic curriculum. But unfortunately, we are, let me say, restricted with the regulations of that. If you want to update your curriculum, so you have to wait till you graduate your students after 3 or 4 years, then you change the curriculum. This is, I think, it's unfair with the media studies. The media studies, it's not a dynamic. So you have to be more convenient when you are talking about these new technologies. And you see the competition between all these platforms, Facebook, then Twitter, then Snap, Instagram, WhatsApp, even this WhatsApp. Now is very rapidly develop himself, so that they may guarantee, let me say, their feet in the market itself. So we need a dynamic curriculum. Also the regulations. We are talking about the regulations because we need to organize the use of this media in many aspects. And you know that if you would like to have a special law for this, it should become through a lot of steps to be finalized and approved by the legal authority. So regulations is outdated. It's not also compatible with the new technologies. And we said it's like between virus and the antivirus. So the virus come first, then the antivirus later. So technologies come first, then regulations come later. So there is a gap between regulations and the technologies as well. The competitions, and this is a very crucial part, because should I consider the personal account in the platforms, Face, Insta, whatever it is, should I consider this as a media institution, as a radio FM, or as a TV channel? Should I consider that? Because now there is, you know, in this era, the roles is being changed. I'm not only audience anymore. I'm not only receiver anymore. I'm also sender. So I'm producing a message as well. So do that means I became a media institution, but under my personal account? This is number one. Number two, there is a competition with alternatives. Now, I'm pretty sure that 90% of the famous media presenters are not from the media field, because they are famous in somehow. So I bring like an actor, or some kind of businessman, or some kind of others, and they are become very famous. That's why they are presenting, because the TV channel or the radio channel, they are searching and looking for the number of the audiences. So now, if I became a media student, do you think that I'm going to have a chance, a fair chance, to be in the media mill? This is very important question. Also, the competition with the students. I'm talking now as educators, because your students now are smarter than before. I mean, by using these digital platforms, smartphones, and they have very good knowledge about the digital skills. So the educator himself may be outdated, because the student himself, he knows how to deal with this kind of technology much more better than the educator. So we need also to educate our educators to be creative with dealing with this kind of digital skills and the others. And also there are some kind of wrong concepts when you are talking about the journalism. All the thoughts go for the political side only. it's not like that. We have to also be aware about this, because when you provide like a journalism program degree, Bachelor of Journalism, most of people, they may think that it's kind of articles online or political issues, and they are not worrying about the other things. When I'm talking about the other things now, we have the big data, for instance, analysis. This is a very important field that most of journalists should know about it, because when you analyze kind of data, then of course you are going to outcomes, you are going to results. And also communication theories. Do these communication theories fit our current situation? I don't think so. When you are talking about the, let me say, gatekeeping, for instance, is there any gatekeeping? Does it exist anymore? And when you are talking about the magic bullet, for instance, and the agenda settings, all these theories, I think, need to be revised so that it may fit our situation and to be much more convenient to our students when we ask them to have their own researches. And also, when we come to research studies, you may find some kind of academic institutions are insist to, let me say, to restrict the titles of the studies. Most of the studies have like the impact of something on something, the influence of something in something. We don't need that kind of studies anymore, because this is, I'm going to say it's old-fashioned. Now we have to change. We have to focus on the predictive studies. What will happen in the future? Because now we have the data that may help us to format a big screen, a big picture that may lead to this kind of results. We are talking about the combination and integration between this media institution in only one screen. I mean the mobile, the TV, the cinema, and the mobile, the cinema, the TV, all together now in one platform or one device, which is the mobile. So the new era could not fit with, I mean, the old paradigm could not fit with the new era. So we need new paradigm so that it's fit with the situation. I hope I didn't get much more than I should be, but thank you very much for this opportunity. And I wish this rally is being repeated more over and over. Thank you very much, and congratulations for this event. It is really great to have it, and it's really it's honor to participate in this such kind of innovative, let me say, innovative way. And I think that's will make also the attendees are not getting bored by only one person. So there is a varieties and different aspects, which is, I think it's innovative and very creative. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. And actually, the challenges highlighted by you are faced in media education worldwide. And we at GNIMEC are trying to address these issues by initiating deliberations amongst the media fraternity across the globe. And GSEC is one of the such steps which we are taking in that direction. So thank you so much for your support.